Well, we'll call the meeting to order here and we'll start off with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Moving on to item number 3, consideration and approval of the agenda.
Make that motion.
Motion by Kyle to approve the agenda. Do I hear a second? Second by Dave. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. All right, so we'll move on to item number 4 on the agenda, public forum. This is an opportunity for citizens to present items to the council that are not on the agenda. Each presentation is limited to 3 minutes with a maximum of 15 minutes set aside. If your item needs follow-up from the city, staff will arrange for that. If you'd like to step forward for public forum, please make your way to the podium, state your name and address, and council will hear your concerns. I will ask again if anybody would like to step forward for public forum. I will ask for a third and final time if anybody would like to step forward for public forum. Hearing none, we'll move on to item number 5.1, discuss and possibly amend the motion made on June 17th regarding the vacant council seats.
You have the agenda.
Oh, sure.
Oh, I usually use it for notes, and
Oh,
I
absolutely.
keep them in order so I can go back.
Anybody else would like one?
I think I'm
I'm okay, I got on the computer.
Dan, got one?
No, I'm not. And I know how to recognize it. No, I just like making notes instead of a notepad.
There you go.
Thank you.
Well, I was one of the counselors that expressed interest in a potential special meeting on the motion that was passed to fill the vacant council seat, because the motion that was adopted said to put out the letters of interest to be returned to city staff, city administrator no later than Friday the 26th. And there's not anything in the motion that's actionable to filling the council seat. So like I said, I brought it forward because I thought that if we were looking at doing that, that the motion would need to be either rescinded and redone or amended to include the details of what the action of the motion is to be. That was what I communicated.
I agreed with Dan. I was the second or one of the seconds. I agreed with Dan on this. As I was driving home from that council meeting, I said, oh yeah, we made a motion to collect, but not a motion to do anything after. So,
Or even what we're collecting, what the letters of interest are for. I mean, it just, again, in light of motions and learning, it was, to me, it was just a concerning motion because it's not any action.
I don't often receive feedback, but I did receive a lot of feedback that the letter of intent could be basically anything. So I was another one of those people that approved a special meeting. So what would we like to do here? Amend it or rescind it and re-amend it or like this?
You could make a motion on how to follow through.
could we add a new motion about actual
Yeah, the
procedure and
steps,
process?
the steps for bringing.
But we can't do that in this meeting because we're noticed as amending the motion that was passed. We can't
Yeah, we
add a motion.
We could amend it.
We can amend the motion that's adopted.
What's the fastest solution?
To include the steps of once they're received.
One, what the letters of interest are for, what the remainder of the process will be, what the details of the post were. I've received some feedback that the post was more like an application than a letter of interest. Just details of what the action to fill the seat was meant to be in the motion so that we can take action with the motion. I was not a part of that meeting. I was unfortunately not able to be here, so like I said, it's just that I was reviewing it.
Probably also need to include when the appointment would be made, when they would be appointed to the position, and the duration of it. Since we have talked about filling that seat after the election, or would they go until the end of the year? I would think.
I asked Marcy, and Marcy had talked to the courthouse auditor,
Regarding,
whether we needed to fill it or not.
oh, well, the state and the league and the city attorney, I mean,
They all said, they all said.
yeah,
we have
this
to.
is a
So,
can that's being kicked, so.
yeah, and I'm, as you guys get feedback from the constituents, so do I. And the ones that came to me said, it looks like you guys are trying to control the situation. You don't want anybody in there that might give you a little grief. So, you know, and they're just being blunt with us. And I know that's not true, but as much as we think it, and I agree with Kyle, and I think it should be an elected position. But if we can't do that, we can't do that. So then we'll just do whatever is required of us, and we'll just get it done. And
I don't mean that point. I think we just need to include in there when they would be appointed and the duration. Just because of our past discussions, does that go until the November election, or does it go to the end of the year? That's all I was getting at for that.
I guess I don't have a good answer as to if we appointed someone
Yeah, because once that person's appointed, it would be through the end
for
of
the
the year.
duration, I
Yep.
think is what
Because
statute.
the term starts January,
the new
so.
one don't start.
And I think that clarification would have to be included in there, because we've had a lot of discussions around waiting until the election and going that route, so.
And then we found out we can't do that. So let's move on.
Dan was just outlining, and the
Yeah.
mayor was just outlining the objectives of what would have to go in there, so that was just my component that I was adding in there.
Oh, that's fine.
I think ideally I would like to, whether we decide to extend the application deadline, given we might be changing or adding details if we push it out an additional week. I'd like an addition after those applicants are received or letters of interest are received, I'd like 2 weeks to review them, get public input, get public opinion. I think it also would make sense for whenever we do decide to the due date of the letters of application, that it would be a good idea, or it would be required of any applicants to come forward and speak to council for 2, 5, 10 minutes, just kind of give us a rundown. I don't know what we need to have. I guess that's up to us if we would rather have an interview style situation, or like this is what I am, this is why I'm interested in the position, this is why I want to be on council, and leave it at that. So I guess that's what I would throw out there. I had reached out to Marcy this morning to ask if it would be acceptable to put out a survey after the letters are the letters are all submitted and they've had their chance to speak and things like that. The league reached out and said there's nothing really saying that we can't, but to check with the city attorneys first. So I wouldn't be comfortable
You have
necessarily.
to word it very carefully, because it would be the gray area where it would be considered a special election. You're putting it in.
They can't be
So-
casting a vote. I know I've done my little bit of research. They can't call it a ballot. They can't be casting a vote. They can't be selected.
And there's no way for us to guarantee that it's actually city residents that are casting these
Yeah,
votes.
that's true too. Yeah, there you go.
The other thing is, at the time of the appointments, I mean, it would be open for public discussion. If people had concerns with a individual running or going for council, I mean, they could come in and voice their concern. I'm sure they could also call up each one of us or voice it on Facebook or whatever other social media platforms they have. So click it, fix it.
Yeah, we have open blogs.
See what fix it.
Take a picture of the sidewalk and complain about the candidate maybe. So we're sitting at,
So. Are you gonna bring it up?
Yeah, I can write it down as we go here. how do we want to deal, should we just start at the top? How do we want to deal with letters of interest? Do we want just an open-ended, please submit a letter of interest if you're interested in interested in the vacant council seat, and let it be a English essay? Or do you want to give them a more structured, please answer these 5 questions? Please answer these questions.
My opinion on that is it turns into an application rather than a letter of
Right.
intent.
Mhm.
And questions can limit people's intent statements sometimes if they feel that they're not kind of questions.
That's the way you felt when you were involved in that? Were you involved in that one?
Yeah, no, I felt that was a complete railroad process because I did a data request to find out that the council at the time gave city staff strict directions to appoint someone that was already a council member. So my experience was good. And I have all documents.
Oh, I think it was brought up about, what process we take. I don't know, remember I made the comment that I've seen every process in the world and over the years that we've never, I think it would be a really kind of a good idea if we set up policy, like whether this council does it or we wait till the next council. But
Right.
there should be a policy so that, there isn't this gray area that we're running. And it would be pretty easy then the next time. If they wanted, the next council wanted to change that policy, let them change it. It's whatever. Does that seem okay with Dan? I mean, is that something you were thinking or?
I honestly hadn't thought about it. I was just focused on this motion for this meeting, but I accepted it now.
I think it's something to think about.
Okay, so as I write things down here, letter of interest, does that sound, or letter of intent, letter of interest?
I think interest, they're not interested in being on. I don't know why we were asking them what their intent is, because, yeah, I'm gonna get on so I can fire all them juggernauts. We don't need that.
Well, that's what,
Oh, I thought you had did that over there.
I mean, there is the code of conduct in place for the council that clearly states that you have to have at least a majority. So they can't come in here and say they're gonna fire everybody. Otherwise, the 4 of us would have a long conversation about being a proper council member, I would think, but.
Well, I always thought it was good, and I remember when I got on, I wish people would mentor, and I know Dan called me several times, and I appreciate that, and I hope I was helpful. You come on, when I come on the council, I didn't have anybody to talk. It was kind of, I knew what I had witnessed and seen as fire marshal and going to council meetings, but it's a whole lot different sitting over there than it is sitting up here. And I would have appreciated if I got a handout or a folder saying, this is the way things normally, this is the procedures that we do, or this is how you make a motion, and this is how you make a whatever. And we never had any of that. I would think that would be even a book like here. I had no idea how much the council got paid.
I think long-term, that's a good plan, the mentorship. We talked about that. Whoever comes into this position is gonna have basically, 6 months to fill the position, so.
I'm not worried about the one coming in. I'm talking kind of
Yeah,
in
just
the future,
kind of wrapping us back into the path, but, their letter of intent, they're basically gonna have to state what their objective is for the next 6 months, like you said, or is their intention to come in and try and fire everybody? Or do they have an objective that they think they can complete in the next 6 months, or do they just want to fill the position because
it needs to be filled.
struggle with the position with everything going on and having the majority votes and stuff?
What do they feel they can add to the council or add to the mix? I don't know. I look for the words. I don't follow.
But the adding to the council, that's almost more of the election thing at this point. You're almost looking for somebody that's willing to come in and fill a position for 6 months, and I guess they can either run for office or they can get out and just retire.
Yeah. After 6 months, they might not. Want
Okay, so letter of interest, objectives for the next 6 months.
Letter of interest for the vacant council.
Vacant.
I got a question, do you have to pay the $2?
Oh, we talked about that, prorated amount. 65 cents.
All right, letter of interest for vacant council seat, objective for the next 6 months, do we want, what did you had said something, Dave? It perked my ears up, but then I know it.
I guess you'll have to help me. You know, I'm going on 72 now.
Why question, why do you want to run for this position, why do you want to?
Well, I mean, it's, what do you think you can contribute? I mean, what do you, I'm trying to look for the word, I have problems with that. What can you contribute? What do you feel you can contribute? And, you know, in the ability, or what they build to help run the city or something, I don't know. And we have Snap GPT, or what do they call it? Would be for my kid. There's got to be some. I can't remember what we asked when we picked Mary Kay. Do you remember the questions? I don't even remember.
I don't.
Do you know the meaning of the word?
No, I know, but I don't know what we asked. What type of vote we asked. We must have had at some point. I remember when Brian and Mary Kay and whoever else went, and I think it was spoke. It was, you know, there was questions asked of them about what they feel they can contribute to the council, something like that.
And I don't want to get it bogged down and
I don't
like
either.
an SAT style question where it says, please provide your letter of interest for the vacant council seat and please provide these 6 bullet points. But I think 1 or 2 or 3 is definitely, we don't want to waste their time. We want to make sure we're getting competent answers, I guess, would be my point of view.
I mean, ultimately, they're gonna have to sit through the audit process and budget planning, and they're gonna have to sit through truth in taxation and setting the taxes, which if we have an increase, they might be putting a target on their back, so they have to be aware that they might be walking into that situation. The next 6 months, what could come up that might not be the most positive interaction. So if they think they can just come in with authority and just do it and it's gonna be easy, they have to understand that the next 6 months could be very, very difficult.
6 months could probably be the most difficult 6 months of the year.
So unless it's easy in the past, I don't know, or documents can show it's
Timeline, what are we thinking? We had originally said tomorrow, the deadline. Do we want to keep that at tomorrow or do you want to give an additional?
Well, if you're changing things.
If we're changing the rules, I feel like we need to give them more time personally.
I don't think we're changing the rules.
We're just establishing rules.
Did you decide on what for the letter? Because you state the objective for the next 6 months, prorated filing fee. Did you come up with like just why you're interested or why you think you'd be a strong candidate?
Why do you feel, or what do you feel you can contribute to the council? What I wrote down, if everybody's agreeable to that.
So
I wouldn't worry about the prorated amount.
what do you feel? I'm sorry. What do you feel you can contribute? Is that what you said?
That's what I have written down.
I like what Kyle said as far as the different major things that are coming up. Maybe a short summary of what they're going to be facing. I mean, it's pretty. He's right. It could be a spike in the profit if they come in and you have to raise taxes. Yeah, it's not fun.
Are you aware you could be a target? What is your objective for the next 6 months? Is there any items that you feel like you're going to try and get done in the next 6 months, or are you just here for a placeholder?
That's being real blunt. I don't know if we have to be that blunt, but I guess I mean, you're telling the truth. I mean, we're gonna. I'm talking per diem. I think we should have that. That should come back, so we can encourage younger people that, you know, if you have to hire childcare, at least you're going to get paid something so that you can afford to pay for childcare.
But they would fall into the current pay schedule, but the per diem would fall into a decision that we would have to make that would go into not this year. So
I know. So it's part of what they're going to be facing, though, because if they're for it and they vote for it, it's on them. It's not on the new person coming in January unless they're the new person. So.
Yeah, I would keep it really short, simple, 1 page. their objective. Not gonna have enough time to give a long lengthy debate on what you wanna do. But
What would be wrong with saying the council has the following items to face between now and January and the budget session, this and that and the other thing.
Could we reserve those as interview or
Oh, that-
questions to ask?
And that's a good idea too, Dan. I like that. That's a good idea.
I like that rather than trying to weave someone, because someone coming onto council, just coming onto council may not necessarily know the budgeting process, truth and taxation, all of the fun things that we're going to go through in the next 6 months.
And it puts a letter, in my opinion, puts a letter of interest back into a snapshot into someone's brain of how their interest and how their process works. And we, in my opinion, can get more detailed with questions that we choose throughout that process. Again,
One page, do we all like the one page, or if they're an exuberant writer, are we okay with 2, 3? I don't want to read a book, but
their tenure is gonna be short and bright, so you get into a lengthy novel, it just tells me that they might have a long-term plan that might not be accomplished. With that line. Again, if they wanna run for election, more power to them, but, I don't wanna make promises to them that can't be fulfilled, right?
we want to put how do we feel about putting a length cap? Do we want to put a length cap or just let them fly as they are?
leave it open-ended.
Okay.
That's
I
just
had
my
to do
opinion.
And we shoot for like the 15th, second week of the month.
Yeah, I think if we push it out till the second meeting or
Because
the
it's, the first is gonna be too.
Friday before the
That's coming up too
second
quick.
meeting. Does that give everybody enough time to review the letters of interest that come in prior
Finish
to?
up Friday, and go for a week from Friday, they have to be in, so whatever that is.
Unless you wanted to look at them longer than that. You wanted the 8th, like that Wednesday. And then they'd be on the agenda 2 days later.
Well, it's fine if you wanna go there. I don't know. I just, we're almost at the end of the week now, so. Give another week. That gives you staff time to get stuff organized. Copies made or stuff sent and put on the agenda.
Might not hurt to include for anybody that's interested that the next meeting is the audit. If they're seriously thinking about running for position,
That's when they're gonna gain a lot of information about.
might wanna come and sit in.
So we currently have Friday the 26th, which is tomorrow. We bumped it a week. That would be till Friday the 3rd. I'm guessing city offices aren't open on the 3rd because the 4th is a holiday, so they would either have to be due the 2nd or the 6th if we went an additional week out. If they were due the 6th, then you guys would have the agenda published by Friday. And you could send out the letters of interest prior to.
Right, and
Publish
then
on
we'll
the
attach
agenda.
them to the agenda that going out that week.
You could say it has to be postmarked, you said, by the sixth. And if they get it by the, because it'll come in after that. I don't think anybody will mail them, but they might. But you should say postmark somewhere there.
Letters.
But if we're gonna go with postmark, then you have to give it at least 8 to 10 days now.
Really?
Because the postmark can be,
And sometimes you don't get the mail anyway.
well, if you, like, for instance, if someone wants to drop something off at the post office, if they don't know to go in and get a same day postmark, it goes to St. Paul, and as it's processed through, it can be 3 to 4 days before it gets postmarked.
Yeah, you got a point there.
Are we gonna exclude electronic communication? If they send an email to city administrator? Or does it have to be physically in person?
I would think they can attach a Word document or
Personally, I don't think it, I didn't, well, When I bought my new truck, I didn't touch the actual piece of paper. Everything was digital or on an iPad. So
Then you better make sure you have a link there somewhere in that.
Yeah, 'cause there might be people traveling right now that have interest.
yeah.
You better have a link and where they, so that they can say, well, I sent it to whatever it was. We all know that sometimes some of these websites, well, we know ours are accurate now.
I think requiring a paper copy is a little, or in my opinion, is a little
Yeah.
archaic, but that's not a hill I would die on either way. So
Sounds good.
And everything we do is public record. It doesn't matter how it's submitted.
okay. Did we want to firm up? Did we firm up a date? Did we want to firm up a date?
Which date are you
The
thinking?
date to receive them by.
I think if they're taking, you guys are closed the third.
Yeah, they're out.
So you might as well do the Monday after.
Yeah, the sixth. I agree.
Yeah, do the Monday after.
We could put in the listing that they'll be distributed beforehand, not distributed the night of the.
Yeah, that would be real nice.
Well, yeah, that was never the plan. The plan was to attach them to the agenda.
Yeah, it was.
But the posting says that they'll be distributed to council the night of the meeting. That we would get it.
Do or postmark by the 6th? Care about postmark? Is that something that?
Say received by the sixth.
I would say received. I think Dan's right. It could be anytime after that.
End of business on the 6th.
Mm-hmm. By 4:30.
That's a good idea.
All right, and then does that give staff time to say that they could send them out to council on the 7th?
I would say for sure, let's say, I mean, I feel safe to say 7th, but
Want to say the 8th, the morning of the 8th, just to give you, in case there's a,
No later than the morning.
yeah, let's say no, yeah,
Just put no later. That way they got an option. What if the bottom drops out of something?
I know, that's what I wrote too.
you know, an end of
We
day.
had
That's still a full week.
Mhm. Okay,
I got nephews coming from Tennessee. Gonna be in Duluth for the fire.
That day, okay, next step then would be
council on the 15th.
on the 15th.
They'll be present and council will have questions to ask.
Do we wanna send our questions to you and put them in a,
Oh,
do we restrict it to one question each or 2 questions, 3 questions? And then if they're the same, she can combine them.
I may have more than one question, but again, I don't really want it to turn into an interview. Well, I want it to be an interview. It is an interview, but I don't want it to turn into, the last time when I went through this, it was, some of the questions weren't very relatable to government, say. I guess I would say be prepared to speak for a few minutes to introduce yourself.
I think that's more important.
but then if we want to do the questions, could we ask then council have questions they'd like pooled to us by the 8th as well? So we can get that in a document form for you to look at, review, maybe change, or
Comfortable with that, as long as we're,
But how many should we send in so we don't send a million of them?
I'd say one, 2, 3. Nothing more than, no more than 3.
Because if you get them to us that quickly, we could put them all together and then actually send it back out and you can say, oh, these are my favorite, or I don't know.
It not necessarily has to even be a question, it could be a statement, you know. We start budget at such a time, or this time of year, and we're gonna probably have to call several special meetings. Are you gonna be available? What is your outlook for availability on those special meetings? I mean, is there dates that, you know, whatever, I don't know, but something like that. That's not really a real super question, but kind of a statement. I think that's more fair for the proper English. I think that's more fair than saying, what do you know about city budget?
What happens if we get like 20 people that are interested? Are we gonna do this right in the middle of a normal meeting? Are we gonna have a special meeting before? Are we gonna have a special meeting that week of to make a decision? I mean, you could get 100 people. I don't know how many questions you want to ask if it turns into.
I'm thinking one each.
What's helpful is the deadline's the 6th.
Yeah.
So we'll know that if there was 1 or 100. So then we'll know this can't go on the agenda.
I think we, you know, I would give very, okay, if we put down 2 questions or 3 questions, but this is my number 1 question I want to ask. And if it matches somebody else's, then that's 1 question for 2 people. And then you take my number 2 question, whatever. We're both at the same. I think 1 question each is,
If
we're these people.
if we're deciding the scope, whether it's 1 person or 100 people, we should probably outline that now in the letter of intent. Are we gonna make a decision on the 15th? Are we gonna ask them a question on the 15th and then come back and make a decision? Are we gonna end up with 100 people and have 200 questions go through, and at that point just be zonked out?
So can we have the talk about, you know, or review it at the council? Do we have to do that in public, or can we close the meeting and discuss and then come back and open the meeting?
We should probably talk about this one in an open meeting for transparency.
Well, that's why I'm asking. I mean, I don't know what on these type of things if that's allowed. But that's my question.
I know in previous cases, I believe the meeting was left out.
Okay, well then if that's the case, then I think, you know, when all of them come in on the 6th, if she says, hey, I got 15 of them, what do you guys want to do? She should send something out. We'll just say,
Right, and that could actually be in the interest in Bacon Council seat intro for the post, is that depending on the size of the response, this will either be done on the council meeting on the 15th, or we will set a separate
set a
special. So that leaves the door open for both. If to be determined.
application numbers will be turned.
We want to right now just pick a flat number and say if there's 5 or less, we can work it into the 15th meeting, and if there's over 5, then we will schedule a special meeting some other
Or
day.
can we get the questions on the 15th and just schedule a special meeting on like the 17th now and add budgetary discussions for the special meeting? Because I'm guessing we're gonna have some conversations around that.
Yeah, as long as it's in the scope of the special meeting, I think that would be, we could even, if we schedule a special meeting on the 1st for the 17th, we could add it as an agenda item. If there's no action that we can take on that because it falls out on the 15th, then we text it. I guess would be my,
Would the 17th be during the day?
How long your budget discussion will go on for,
Oh, for Wednesday? Oh, wait, that's on the 1st.
just in general? Yeah, I guess that's the other thing, is that you don't know the availability for the person.
Is he gonna be here in person? Are we gonna have a live, or is he gonna be on video? Our budget,
I think we would request them to be in person if possible.
you don't know that for sure. You can't know.
yeah, I think if we're gonna split up the times and to have, potentially it could be 2 days, I would say at the minimum, they should have to be here on the Teams call or over the TV.
I think Dave was talking about the audit.
I was talking about the audit.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking of the interviews. Or the-
Are you saying that the individual that we appoint is gonna be a man? Or we're gonna leave it open?
Do I say they had meant to say that?
Oh, Dave, I apologize. The auditor will be here in person.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I,
I misunderstood completely.
I guess we could look at, I guess it's hard to look at that far out, but maybe we should just set a special evening meeting where we make the appointments and then we add to the agenda about tying in other things like budgetary discussion, or we got a long laundry list of things that need to be talked about, I think, but budget's probably the top of the cake. So, wrong, but Nicole's gonna have them all done by that date, right?
15.
16. Or beyond.
And then we eat cake. That just sounds weird to say.
was bringing the cake.
I am. If it gets filed by the day. If the audit gets filed by the time, I promised Nicole a cake from our city.
Well, I stopped there and picked up rolls. It was really good.
Probably going off in the weeds now, but
Yeah, but-
Setting a special meeting, I don't know that we can set a special meeting day, but should I include it in the list to say set a special meeting on?
On or about July 17th.
Set a special meeting today with that?
what if the candidate has to come in and evening meeting?
That's the problem.
However, if it's under the 5 applicants, you want to have it on the July 15th meeting.
Okay, what's that agenda look like, you know, off the top of your head?
Yeah, it's not too bad because we're splitting it up between the 1st and the 15th.
Well, that should be specified in the app too, if they have to. This is the way it's gonna happen, and if they can't make that meeting, then it probably shouldn't apply. I'm not trying to be hard at them, but we don't have a lot of time.
Well, we shouldn't limit it. It should be fair to everybody in the working class.
And
They're
so,
doing us a favor.
Yeah, and I guess I can be flexible timeline wise, and I guess we wouldn't know
well,
if an early evening, like a 3 o'clock meeting works better for someone, because that can straddle a work day and an evening. I'm comfortable with that, but,
If they're coming to the normal meeting on the 15th, discuss, I'm guessing that an evening meeting would be available to them. Can we say something that the appointment would be held by no later than the 24th at a special meeting, and that would give us the flexibility to a week and a half to, I mean, we need 3 days in advance, but we
Yeah.
might have some understanding by Wednesday the 1st, or
Because I just personally, I wouldn't be able to attend an evening meeting on the 17th.
so if we know by the 7th, and we have the availability to have a special meeting by the 24th, guessing that Melanie could probably send out an email asking when people would be available in that time frame. If that works, or spitballing opinions here at this point.
I think everything's dependent on how many people apply. That's what it boils down to.
If it's one, it might be pretty simple.
okay, let me update you guys on my scribbles here. So I say, letters to be provided by council end of day July 8th. Council shall provide 1 or 2 questions to ask applicants on or
Oh, yes.
before the 8th. I have set special meeting on or before the 24th if more than 5 applicants.
When you send the questions by the,
3 max, correct?
I have 1 or 2 written down,
I
but
want to do 2.
that way I
You
figure.
want to do 3?
I think I had set 3 written down, so make sure. it's consistent.
Because there might be a lot, you might ask the same question I'm asking, so we might have, everybody on 3 questions, all 3 be the same, right? What we're thinking.
We can get this posted.
As far as,
We send Melanie the questions, you the questions, you CCU, or
Yeah, you can do both, yeah.
let's make sure both of you are included.
for the special meeting, set special meeting on or before the 24th with more than 5 applicants. Council will make the decision at that time. We want to put an end on it,
And
so
it's
we,
on the 15th.
yeah, I think it's.
Just for the sake of asking, because I was asked this, I don't recall off the top of my head. I don't know if it was just a discussion or if it was an actual action. But previously to this, we had talked about making appointments after the election. Did we take any kind of action on that decision that we might have to rescind to make this happen? Or was it just a discussion?
I don't remember making any sort of, or hearing any sort of motion. I just remember discussion, but that's just my memory, so.
We just said, we questioned Marcy more about, do we have the ability?
We had a couple different discussions and it was brought up to me today. So I didn't know if one of our later discussions was to actually make an action to declare it to the public. So I'm only asking it because if we're going to go through amending this or rescinding this, we have to rescind another one.
This was the first vote taken on filling the seat.
Okay.
And then also I would include a date of appointment.
Should that be, do we shoot for making an appointment on the 24th, or if there are on or before the 24th, or?
I guess I thought the intent would be to make the appointment at the special meeting.
At the special meeting.
Otherwise, we're gonna end up with two special.
Yeah.
You're thinking, so I'm wondering,
That's just they have to be sworn in.
So if there's less than 5, you're gonna interview on the 15th and then have a special meeting to appoint.
Yeah, because when I was appointed, it was just Gina there. I signed the paperwork and she signed the paperwork and it was done.
you were appointed, it was the two of us made the appointment. I don't even know if you were there.
I was on my way to the Grand
Yeah,
Canyon.
Yeah, you were riding a donkey or something.
Would have been more comfortable in walking.
I remember that.
Yeah.
The swearing in is different, but I think we can make the appointment on the special meeting.
Special election,
If on the special meeting, not the election.
or, excuse me, yes, the special meeting.
If they're present, then they would be able to participate in the special council meeting at that point, I would think. If they're not present, they're gonna have to swear in at another date.
Or would it have to be before they won't have access? Well, they can have access.
Yeah, and we
Public
can,
information.
Well, I hope, well, when I got elected, then I don't know, maybe, I remember how I was given stuff right away. They were sending me stuff right away. So.
They were sending me stuff like 6 months before my appointment.
Yeah, I know, it was 4 months or whatever before.
I got nothing. Absolutely.
Oh, I know why. I know why, and I know who why. I know who why.
okay.
There wasn't a lot of leadership back then. Yeah.
This was just last year.
Oh. On the last year one?
I was
You didn't
out on an island since from the election day till when I was seated. I didn't have any idea. I was not contacted. I didn't have access to email. I had to ask questions. That's why I was adamant about for committees and commissions, stuff working on that mentorship a little bit better. So
I thought you were getting. We need to change that.
I don't really like this line that I have written down, just I don't like the wording. It says set special meeting on or before the 24th if more than 5 applicants. Council will make an appointment at that special meeting. That sound okay?
I would strike with 5 regardless, because you might end up with 10 people just to mess with you.
Sure. So set special meeting on or before the 24th, on or before, say, July 24th.
You're appointed at the start of the special council meeting. If present, they can be sworn in and participate in the council budget talks.
A special meeting on or before July 24th, council will make an appointment at that special meeting at the beginning of that special meeting.
Yes.
my first meeting was reviews. Hey, welcome. We have reviews. Oh.
Seems like yesterday.
Okay. Okay, so set special council meeting on or before July 24th. Council will make an appointment at the beginning of that special meeting.
If present, they will be sworn in at them. We need to have a judge on hand.
I think the clerk can do it.
The clerk can do it, the auditor treasurer can do it, a judge can do it.
Acting mayor did mine.
May or may not need to have a Bible on hand.
I have one in my
It would be that special meeting.
I can see if I can contact someone at the courts and see if they'd be, or Marcy, are you able to reach out to courts and see if we could get a judge?
Judge Stoney might do it. I bet you.
That's what I was gonna
I bet you he'd be happy to
reach out to.
I'm not trying to speak for
Fine idea.
Even retired judges can do it. If you're still judging. Okay.
there's something special about being sworn in by an active judge.
Okay.
I got a hard out in 12 minutes.
Okay. I think we're just about done. All right, I have number 1, letter of interest for vacant council seat. Objectives for the next 6 months. What do you feel you can contribute? Letters of interest are due to City Hall by 4:30 on July 6th. Letters to be provided to council by end of day on July 8th. Council shall provide questions to applicants on or before. Council shall provide 1 or 2 questions to applicants no later than the 8th. Set a special meeting on or before July 24th. Council will make an appointment at the beginning of that special meeting. If present, they will be sworn in after appointment. Anybody would like to see change?
Are the questions to the applicants or to city staff?
City staff. Council shall provide 1 or 2 questions to city staff
No later than me.
no later than the 8th.
Yeah, we can send them earlier if we want to. I would think it'd be okay, wouldn't it?
Okay. Letter of interest for vacant county seat. Objective for to share their objectives for the next 6 months. What do you feel you can contribute? Letters of interest are due to City Hall by 4:30 on July 6th. Letters to be provided by council by end of day on July 8th. Council shall provide 1 or 2 questions to city staff on or before the 8th. That special council meeting on or before July 24th. Council will make an appointment at the beginning of that special meeting. If present, they will be sworn in after.
So that sounds good. Do we, it's worded though.
It is very working.
Could we amend it with the wording is, or should we resend the June 17th and have you read that as a separate motion, make a decision on?
I don't know that we can pass.
Yeah, I think we would have to modify the existing motion.
Okay,
Dan's running short on time here. How can we modify this motion and make it less than a half a page of paper? Bullet points?
I think read it through and then decide on if you want to make that into a motion or not.
Okay. So I'll read through it one more time and say we would request letters of interest for the vacant council seat with their objectives for the next 6 months and what they feel they can contribute. Letters should be turned into City Hall by 4:30 on July 6th. Letters to be provided by council no later than end of day on July 8th. Council shall provide 1 or 2 questions to city staff on or before the 8th. Council will set a special meeting on or before July 24th. Council will make the appointment at the beginning of that special meeting. If present, they will be sworn. The applicant will be sworn in after appointment.
So that's your motion.
But I will make a motion to modify the item 5.1, the June 17th vacant council seat motion. The motion would be that we would request letters of interest for the vacant council seat with their objectives for the next 6 months and how they feel they can contribute to council. Letters of interest would be due to City Hall no later than 4:30 on July 6th. Letters will be provided to council no later than end of day July 8th. Council shall provide 1 or 2 questions to city staff no later than July 8th. Council will set a special meeting on or before July 24th, and council will make the appointment at the beginning of that special meeting. If present, the applicant will be sworn in at the time after appointment.
I'll second that for points of discussion.
Motion by Ted, second by Dave. Any? Hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed?
Aye.
Motion fails. So how would we like to proceed?
My answer still has never changed, so I still think that we need to wait till election. I understand the arguments that you and Mr. Hill and the city administrator make, but I don't feel comfortable making a decision because I've seen the history of what happened. We got a good rapport with you, but as Dan said, things weren't always the best in the past, so how do I guarantee that going forward? I can't. And I don't feel comfortable with it, especially with everything going on. I want to leave it up to people.
So procedurally, I think we would need to either schedule another special meeting to figure out a way forward or discuss at our next regularly scheduled council.
I would say that at this point in time, we should just discuss it at the
I will add it to
July
the July
1st
1st
meeting.
agenda.
The winner.
Someone want to make a motion to adjourn?
Someone.
Motion by Kyle, second by Dave. Any discussion?
I'm sorry,
Kyle, Dave
second,
first.
second,
Any discussion? None. All those in favor? By saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries.
My granddaughter and grandson are playing.
It's a beautiful day.
It's not really called soccer, it's called wrestling. They wrestle the ball. I don't know if anybody ever kicks anything.
So I will see you guys all before the 4th of July, but have a great freedom test.
Oh, that's right, that's this weekend.
This week. You too.
Fourth of July.
All right.
We got some room on the harbor.
Crazy.
Her daughter was trying to see points to get somebody in. That costs money, because I tried to get a room up there with like hundreds of dollars.
Sure.